So tell everybody your name and where you graduated from.
I'm Joseph Gray, and I graduated from Lexington High School.
Okay. Tell us about your family, your siblings, parents, grandparents, anybody like that. Tell us about them.
Well, in my immediate nuclear family, you have my two parents, Marty and Dawn Gray, which you and I'm sure many other people know who are watching this. And then you had my brother, Jonah Gray, who he's not really home a lot. He's more in Tuscaloosa. He goes to school at Alabama up there. He's trying to be a lawyer, and then he also works up there. So he's really not home much, but he's around. And then we have my grandparents, which and I've been lucky, like super lucky to live this close to them my whole life. We've always lived super close to them, both sides. I got all four of them, and as far as my family goes, that's pretty much it as far as the close knit part. They've all really helped in my development and helping me grow up as a person. They've always provided. It's been really cool to grow up with such good family.
Okay. So what are some of your favorite memories from your childhood?
Well, as in terms of my childhood with my family, it was whenever I whenever I'd go to my grandparents' house. That was like one of the best times I can think of, because whenever you're younger like that, I'm sure that you and other people can relate, is your grandparents, if they're able to, they will spoil you to death. Because like I mentioned, I lived close to my grandparents my whole life. And so whenever my parents had to work or something was busy, instead of having to hire a babysitter, they would take me to my grandparents' house where they would just drop me off and just sort of, let them take care of me. And that was a mistake, because my grandparents would spoil me absolutely rotten. They let me watch TV however long I wanted to, let me eat whatever I wanted to. It was super, super cool. Even though I was younger, I realized that I was being spoiled, but I didn't care. I loved it, and great memory from then. And also, I guess in terms of just my immediate family, like just my parents and brother, I loved those trips we would take to the beach every year. I would say that in terms of my childhood, that's what I used to put like on the pedestal. Was whenever we would go on that beach trip, I'd look forward to it every year, and all the things we would do, eat, all that good stuff. I loved going to the beach, so that was one of my favorites as well.
Parents, like I said, they'll spoil you and they'll feed you even when you're not hungry.
Oh yeah, they will.
Okay, so tell us about yourself. Some of your hobbies, sports you're involved in, maybe some groups or activities you're involved in at school.
hmm So as far as my hobbies are concerned, I love to I love to play video games, as I'm sure you and everyone else knows. I love playing video games. I probably won't ever stop playing video games. I love them a lot. It's one of my biggest hobbies. I participate in it, almost daily. And another one of my really big hobbies is I like to draw. I draw quite often, which I've kind of slowed down as time has went on, especially now we're moving into a new house and everything. But I try to draw at least a few times a month, and just so that I don't lose that ability. And I also really love to fish. I've kind of been accumulating that over the past few years, and I guess really why I like that is just because of how peaceful it is, and of course the actual act of catching the fish, that is also pretty fun. And then also I frisbee golf. That's not the correct term. It's disc golf. I do disc golfing sometimes, probably once, twice a month. It's pretty fun too. And as far as sports are concerned, I played a little bit of basketball when I was younger. I would still play it now if you ask me to, but it's not really something I do a lot of now. But the biggest sport that I just absolutely love is tennis. I love tennis. I could play it now. I played it when I was in school. I could play it anytime. It's just one of my favorite sports. It's a whole lot of fun, and you can always just pick up and play no matter how old you are. So it's a sport I'll probably play for my whole life. And as far as school and those organizations I was a part of is concerned, I joined the clubs like everybody does. When you're in high school, the thing is just sign up for the clubs so you can put it on your resume. Like, you don't really ever participate, but I was a member of FBLA, FFA, FCLA, all the classics. But then I was a member of Key Club, which I was head of the fundraising department, And that was the one I actually put some effort into. I actually, I went to the meetings, I did the stuff, and it wasn't like a drag. It was actually, it's pretty fun. I made a lot of good friends there. Had a lot of great opportunities, like whenever we had the talent show there. It was really cool stuff with doing all that.
Yeah, that's a pretty good time. So what are some of those memories you have from any level of school, any of those sports or groups you're involved in?
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess in terms of memories from school, I guess the first one I mentioned is our graduation. It was it was a little odd. I'm sure some of you might know what I'm talking about, but you know how some schools they had the graduation a little earlier, like I know Wilson did, and I'm sure some other schools did as well. But it was supposed to rain, later in the day. Some of those schools were like, "Oh, we'll have it earlier." Not Lexington. We decided we were going to have it at the exact same time at 7:30, and just pray that the storm doesn't hit us. But of course it did. The rainstorm hit us about an hour into the graduation ceremony, and we were getting our diploma. Our diplomas was really just a folder, and they mail us our diplomas. But we were getting our diplomas, and I was the next person in line. Like I was the next person to be called to receive it, and the rain starts pouring down. And the vice principal was calling it out. He was just like, "Well, y'all got to go inside right now, and then we'll come back out whenever the rain stops." So I was next in line, and I had to go back in and just wait, and then come back out to receive my diploma, which I guess that made it a memorable one, but still. And then another one of my great memories was, as I just mentioned with Key Club, was we got to do a talent show. And whenever we brought up the idea in that meeting that we had, my buddy Charles, by the way, he's in Key Club, and me and him have been friends about 3-4 years. We even have a little YouTube channel together. We make little funny skits. It's really fun, and I've been friends with him for a really long time. But anyways, because of that, they were like, "Why don't you guys, why don't y'all host this talent show?" And we were like, I don't know, because I've never really done anything like that. Neither had he. And we were a little nervous. They're like, "Hey, y'all be great for it. Y'all are funny. Y'all are friends. Y'all could probably do really well out there." And we weren't sure, but we did it. And that was one of the highlights of my high school career. Just getting out there in front of everybody. We were making jokes, making everybody laugh. It was fun. It wasn't ever awkward or anything out there. We got to really just have a whole bunch of fun. It was super cool. And I really didn't expect that out of out of the high school, because I thought they would be too cool for it. But it was fun. And then probably the last one I'll talk about in terms of high school was it involves tennis, which obviously, because it's one of my favorite sports ever. But this was last year, and I was doubles partners with a guy named Wilton Mark Pettis. He's a really cool guy. Kind of lives on a farm. But anyways, me and him, we played doubles for a couple years, and our play styles were very different. Like I like to play, pretty. Like I don't like to speed up the game. I like to play really slow, kind of wear my opponent down. And he just likes to go fast. He just likes to get it done, just keep moving. And anyways, so me and him were doubles partners, and we played decently, but we never really played, super well. But anyways, we made it to state, which state is the big thing for all of you that don't know. You want to go to state, and most of all, you want to win state. So just getting to state is hard enough in its own, but we got there, and so it was me and Wilton going up for our first doubles match at state. And one of the biggest things to preface this was that not a single doubles team from Lexington had ever won a match, period, at state. And so me and Wilton, we get up there for our first match, and we won. We won our first doubles match at state ever for Lexington High School. And did we win state? No, we didn't win state. We weren't quite that good. But that was the best we had ever played. It was really cool, and it is pretty cool now to say that I was a part of that doubles team that won the first ever doubles match at state for Lexington High School.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Some great achievements there, and great memories you made there at Lexington. So let's shift gears a little bit. Tell us about how much your church family at Woodlawn has meant to you over the years.
Oh man, they've meant just like a ton to me. I mean, because from whenever I was, this big, all the way up, I've went here. Woodlawn's the only church I've ever known, the only church I ever went to from birth until now, and I've made so many great relationships here. With with all my different friends, like you got Seth, Austin, the Huples, all these great people that I'm friends with. And all those relationships came from this church, and just some of the great people here that have supported me and raised me from the ground up. Just a whole lot of good stuff coming from this church, and all the youth ministry we've had. It's just really helped me to grow and develop as an individual.
So what are some of your favorite memories from Woodlawn?
Well, whenever we're talking memories, I guess what I immediately think of was back whenever I first joined the youth group. I think I was 13 or 14, maybe even 15, which I'd been a member of the youth group before, but this was whenever I really started getting into doing all the extra activities like the Songs of Summer and all that good stuff. And Eddie Matthews was head of the youth group. He just came into the scene, and he started having these campouts, which we were trying to do them once a month, and it was actually pretty fun. Was all the guys, we get together and we would have a camp out, just all of us. And I don't know if if any of you who are watching this remember me when I was like this big up until that point, but I was a pretty awkward dude. I was pretty hard to talk to one-on-one, and which of course, I still am. I'm not the most confident guy in the world, but still, if you knew me then, you knew it was a whole lot worse, because it was those campouts, I kid you not, those campouts alone are what changed me and helped me to grow in terms of that. Like, whenever I was out there hanging out with those guys, I would slowly build those bonds and grow those bonds, and I would talk more, I would act out more when I was in those settings, and it really did just help me to get along as a human being. And there were so many great memories and stories from those campouts. We did a whole lot of stuff, met a whole lot of great people, and strengthened some bonds, like between me and Austin and Seth, the Huples, Barkley, Colby Chandler. I met a lot of great people and strengthened a lot of already known relationships, and it was a really cool time, and a lot of great stuff came from it.
That's some great memories there. So, where are you going to college at?
I plan to go to college at the University of North Alabama.
Okay. What do you plan on getting your degree in?
I plan on going into computer science. At least, that's the plan now, but life always finds a way.
Oh, yeah. So what are you have some plans already ahead? Like, maybe you want to go, why do you want to go into computer science exactly?
Yeah, well, of course, plans are subject to change. I've got several things that I've been thinking of, but I guess that right now I really just wanted to go into, because I've always wanted to work in the military in some way or shape, but I don't really have the call to, go into the military. I don't really have that desire to be to have a gun in my hand and go somewhere. But I like the idea of it. I like the call. I want to work for this, this great nation. And so I was thinking along the lines of maybe possibly working on like battle simulations that you could use to train like some ground troops, like the National Guard or something, where like they would go through some sort of training. Because I know that me and my dad were looking, and that is a field I could go into. And so as of right now, that's one of my top picks, because that's got a lot of the things that I've always wanted to do and work on in one. So probably something along those lines. Maybe not. It just depends, really.
So, and of course, like you said, plans may change, and of course, that how many times a college student changes their major is probably average 2 or 3 times at the, something like that.
Yeah.
I know, but of course, those are subject to change, of course, maybe. But as of right now, with the career you're going into, with the college you're going to, how will you better God's kingdom from your time in college and through the career you've chosen?
I definitely plan to, whenever I'm in college, because, most colleges, they'll have like a Christian group of some sort. I know UNA does. And I plan to get involved there, but that's not really the only way I'll do stuff because, of course, when I'm at college or when I'm in the workplace, wherever I might go, I'm going to, be a lot from God's Word. I'm going to act as He calls me to act. I'm not going to I'm not going to just stand out and say, just cuss and drink or whatever just to fit in with the crowd. I'll always, be my own person, stay true to who I am, no matter where I'm at. And whenever, I can make an opening or the time will arise, I'll spread His word as need be.
That's great. So is there anything else you might want to say at all to anyone?
I don't really have much I can think of besides if you're watching this, then more than likely you mean a lot to me. So thank you. And even if I don't necessarily verbally say it all the time, I appreciate what you've done, and I'm very thankful for you and everything that you have done. And thank you for helping me to grow as a person. And it's meant a lot to be able to live this crazy life with some of you. It's been really cool.
Well, thank you very much for coming in. Thank you for sharing all that you did and telling us about yourself. All of us, here at Woodlawn, we're pretty, no, of course we're all selfish to some degree, but talking about yourself may seem weird.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah,
it
is
does. For other people to know that, all the accomplishments you've made, and that encourages them. So to thank you for sharing what you've shared today, and for all that you do here at Woodlawn and for the kingdom. So, but thank you very much.
Oh yeah, no problem. Thank you.